Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a super day. Today we're going to do a recipe that my mother always made when we were kids, and it's Gries Glocken soup, or what we used to call it as kids was knopfe, which means buttons, but it's basically a Semolina dumpling soup. I've only ever seen this in Eastern Europe and in Southern Germany. I'm not spotted anywhere else. There is a similar recipe in Jewish cuisine called matzo ball soup, but it's some slightly different ingredients. All delicious though. So in a dish, I've added 2 eggs and a sprinkle of Vegeta Seasoning. You can also use salt and pepper. You can spice this up if you want and add a dash of hot sauce, but that is not the traditional recipe. So I've beaten the eggs, and I'm adding about 1/2 cup of cream of wheat. The regular one, please. Don't use instant or you'll just get mush balls. You mix that up into the eggs, and you don't want it to be too tight before it sits, because as the cream of wheat sits into the beaten eggs, it will expand and it'll make a delicious dumpling mix. If your mixture is too loose, you can just add a little bit more cream of wheat. Once you've thoroughly mixed this, you can put it in the fridge for about 20 minutes to sit, and it will thicken as it stands. Don't leave it any longer than that because you might end up with cement. So I'm using some beef stock that I made. You could use chicken. You can also use a totally vegetarian stock, whatever you prefer. Since the dumplings only have eggs in them and cream of wheat, this would suit a vegetarian diet quite well. I'm skimming the foam from the beef stock because I've added some salt and pepper, and some of those tend to foam up at the top, so I've just removed it so you have a clear broth. I'm adding 1 carrot that I've diced. And I've dunked the spoon into the boiling stock because you don't want the dumpling mix to stick to the spoon. So I'm taking about 1/2 teaspoon of the dumpling mix and putting it into the hot stock. You keep doing this until you've got everything in the pot. And if your spoon gets kind of dry, you can just re-dip it in the broth. You don't want anything to stick. You can see as you add the dumplings to the mix, they will float to the top, but they need to cook for about 20 minutes, and they will swell and become huge dumplings. Look at that, like those tiny little bits that you saw now are big dumplings. I'm adding the meat that I used to make the broth back to the soup. This would be a good time to adjust any seasoning if you need to. Here's the finished soup. Serve it with some crusty bread and you have a delicious dinner. My mother used to make this Saturday afternoons. She's been gone for quite some time now, so I wanted to memorialize this recipe. I'm afraid that it's going to get lost. I hope you enjoyed the recipe today. If you like it, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Thanks for stopping by for some more food that warms your soul. See you next time.